Alright, one good little bird. That's right. Skeeter the Duck's here to help us. Yes, she is. Welcome back, everybody, to Monday Mail Call video. That's right. Every Monday we try to open our packages. If you'd like to mail me, hit up duckshit.net. Find my address right there on the website. We've got us 3 packages today. We've got one of these. A big box, heavy. I think I kind of know what it is. It's really heavy. And we got another one here from Ron Cook, one of my fans. Really, really nice guy. Always comments on my videos. It's funny as it says it comes from Cocoa, Florida, which is where Earl is at, and where Eleanor is at right now getting her final body work, and where she's going to be receiving paint soon. So if you haven't subscribed to Earl yet, check him out. duckshit.net/CCC. Anyways, as always, guys, likey, comment, subscribe. Make sure you check out my website. That way you can find all my other social media. But right after this intro, we're going to start busting open some packages. And let's see what's in them. Oh, I almost forgot. I got one more. There it is. Today's actually my birthday, and this was a birthday gift. You'll see in tomorrow's video where I went out and had a little party. It turned out it was a video interruption. So I didn't get to finish what I wanted to. But nonetheless, I'm not sorry one bit. I've got some really good friends, and we're going to show what this is just the same. So check it out. Thanks you guys very much for watching. We're going to roll that intro, and we'll be back in just a minute. Alright, welcome back, you guys. Thanks for staying tuned. Well, let's see what Ron sent us here. It looks like it's in one of them envelopes that has the little fold-over metal hooks. Got some Scotch tape on here. What are you doing, Skeeter? You want some of this? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's food. Alright. Hey, brother, thanks for sharing with us your tips, tricks, and reviews. It all helps. I saw this and thought of you. Also, can I go over to Earl's and sign my name up inside of Eleanor someplace? Yeah. I know it will get covered. I'll be gentle with her. LOL. Laughing out loud. Ron. Thank you so much, Ron. But this decal, I used to have a giant sign of this hanging in my office way in the back where I worked on people's computers. And, yeah. That is exactly right. Don't fuck with me. You let me do my job and get the hell out of the way. I've always operated best on my own. I never do well when people are helping me. I don't. They either can't keep up with me or they don't have the same vision and they go down the wrong path and end up with the result that I wasn't looking for. But yeah, I don't really appreciate it when people tell me what to do. I just don't. Thank you very much, Ron. I really appreciate it. I already know where this sticker is going to go. You'll be seeing this very soon in a video coming up. Anything else in there? Yep, that's what we got. I appreciate it, Ron. Alright, this box. This is sold as a set. Boy, this sucker's heavy. I did not expect it to be quite so heavy. Now, if I think what's in this box, it's something that I've mentioned before that people have been asking a lot of questions about. Yep, that's exactly what it is. We got this. Boom. Boy, that's heavy. And then a whole bunch of that. What this is... Well, that box took a tumble. What this is a... Wow. Heavy-duty caulk gun. What the hell is flying all over the place in here? You got all kinds of things going airborne. This is a 3M caulk gun. And not just for any caulk, but actually for the 8115 3M epoxy adhesive. This is panel bond. And I've talked about this in some of my videos previously. And this is just a whole bunch of packages of it. Because I ordered a giant combined package that gave me a huge discount. But I talked about this previously. You know, I'm putting together a Volkswagen bus named Gregory. And Gregory needs a ton of panels installed. And the latest and greatest thing isn't necessarily to weld them. Because if you weld things together, especially when it comes to bodywork, you're going to find yourself grinding a whole bunch of things down and putting over filler to try to smooth out them welds. And it's a ton of work. But if you take 2 panels that are already pre-formed, and you're able to just glue them together, you get a perfect joint that requires no grinding. And maybe even no fill, especially if it's two panels that are supposed to go together a certain way to produce a certain kind of seam. Yeah, there's no grinding involved at all. This stuff is a little expensive, but when you think about how many days, even weeks of work that it might save you, it's totally worth it. So this came to me as a suggestion from Earl over there at Classic Car Creations. Check out duckshit.net/CCC. Subscribe to him. That's where Eleanor is at right now, which is Cocoa, Florida, which happens to be where Ron lives, actually. It's just great coincidence. It's great when things like that happen. It makes me smile inside. You know, the world is actually that small. But Gregory will be receiving a lot of this panel bond to put together certain panels and certain things that are, what's the best way to put it? Lego bricks. Panels that you know fit into a specific place that you don't want to have to weld, like the gutter seams and things, because this not only is an adhesive that holds everything together, but it's also a seam sealer. So at the same time, you're completely sealing, like a layer of caulk, all these different panels together, so guess what? Moisture doesn't intrude. And that means the rust stays out. So that makes a whole lot of sense to me. So I will be using a lot of this, and then while I have 4 tubes here, chances are I'm probably going to use more. I'm a little disappointed at their size, though. For some reason, I had the impression that these things were the size of a full tube of caulk. And this is not that at all. So for the price of it, yeah, I'm going to have to make it go a long way. But this is the caulk gun, and it looks like it operates like, yep, any caulk gun. It's just your typical. But it's a dual plunger caulk gun because this is a 2-part epoxy, A and B, and it automatically mixes through that special nozzle, which has a little zigzag pattern in it. So the two components will mix together by the time they come out the tip. That tip, unfortunately, is a throwaway, so whatever gets trapped in the tip, well, it's garbage. It's moth cabbage. So this is my tubes of panel bond, which you guys will be seeing on Gregory sometime in the very, very near future. Let's go ahead and put this back together. This needs to go out in the garage, because I'm going to start attaching panels on Gregory sometime very, very soon. Right, Skeeter? That's right, you're a very good girl. Well, I'm recording the last section of that video because I don't know why, but the damn video just froze up and locked up. So we're back, and I'm going to show my gift that I got from Wild Bill. Now, today is actually my birthday, September 22nd. I'm not sure when you're seeing this video. It'll be on Monday, of course. Maybe it'll be the 23rd. Tomorrow, yeah, so it's 23rd you're seeing this. But I don't usually get gifts on my birthday. I usually don't tell a lot of people it is my birthday, but Facebook likes to sneak up and snitch on you and let everybody know. So Wild Bill stopped on by today, and he saw me working on Gregory, and then tonight I invited him out. Let's just go get a beer. It turned into a small birthday party for the Duckman. You'll actually see a video of that coming up tomorrow in tomorrow's Gregory update video. The video got cut short because I had to go meet everybody for dinner, so I didn't get to finish everything that I wanted to in that video. But, you know, no harm, no foul. I'm extremely happy, and I received a gift from Wild Bill. And at first I thought it was a size 15 set of sneakers. I mean, hell, it said Converse on it, right? But anyway, as I busted it open, it was wrapped in tissue paper on the inside, and I was like, yay, toilet paper! And then he said, no, dig into the toilet paper, and when I dug into it, I found a 13mm socket. Now, if you're a Volkswagen guy, you know that 13mm is one of the busiest sockets that you're going to have. And these things are always, never mind a 10mm. This is the one that's always missing. It's your 13mm. So after I thanked him for this, he says, no, there's still more, keep digging. And I didn't believe him, I didn't think there was any more. But of course, I was already 3 beers in. So I busted open the paper a little bit more, and I found a 10mm, which makes sense that the 10mm was lost. I mean, I didn't even know it was there, and he thought it was extremely funny, and just the way that it worked out, that the 10mm was buried in the middle of everything else, was, yeah, it was funny. We all had a laugh out of it. So thank you very much, Wild Bill. I appreciate that. A 10 and a 13mm socket. These things are both Craftsman tools. I have a ton of Craftsman tools. My dad got me started with Craftsman tool set back in 1996 when he bought me my, oh, why am I saying 96? Wow, that was 1993 3-ish, somewhere in there, when he bought me my first tool set when I was in high school for working on my bicycles and mopeds and motorcycles and things that I had. He didn't want me digging into his tools anymore, and that made sense. So anyways, yep, Craftsman is what I had over all these years. So thank you very much, Wild Bill. I really appreciate it. You will see in tomorrow's video where we got together for that party. And then after that, and I just got back from it a little while ago, I went out with Rob. And Rob was supposed to join us for dinner, but, well, he didn't make it. I don't know what the hell he was up to. So I said jokingly, hey, Rob, let's go to the strip club. Anyways, as I was leaving dinner, he sends me a text message. He says, I'm here, where are you? And I was like, where are you? He's like, I'm at the strip club. I was like, oh, man, now I just obligated myself to that. And I'm not a frequenter of the strip clubs. In fact, I'm so infrequent to those strip clubs that over the years, I think I've only spent, like, in my entire life, 10 or 20 bucks in a strip club because I just buy, like, you know, a beer here and there. And it hasn't been that many of them, which is why it amounted to that much. So anyway, I went over there, and he was hanging out with a couple of girls, and the girl said, hey, how are you? I was like, great. He says, it's his birthday. Oh, how old are you? And I said, 21, and their jaws dropped. They said, you know what we do for somebody who's 21 years old? And I was like, well, what? And she goes, we spank them. And I was like, oh, boy. So I started to bend over, and they started to smack me on the ass, and they were having a good time with it. But after both of them hit me about 6 times, they started complaining that their hands were hurting. And I was like, why is your hand hurting? They said, because your butt is so hard. Why is your butt so hard? Well, because I worked out a little bit. Probably not as much as I should, but enough that, you know, it shows. You know, I'm no lightweight. I've got meat on me, and it's obvious. So anyways, they were rather impressed with that. I ended up hanging out with them for the rest of the evening, along with my buddy Rob. So we had a good time tonight, and again, I didn't spend a dime. Everybody ended up giving me beers for my birthday, and I'm just happy to be home. I'm already feeling like I'm hungover. I have to drink some more water before I go to bed. I have an early morning telephone install. I'm installing a phone system for a customer tomorrow. But anyways, as always, guys, licky, likey, comment, subscribe. If you want to send me something, hit up duckshit.net. You'll find my mailing address up there on the website. You'll also find all my different social media links. Heck, you'll also find my classified ad page. Yeah, it's all linked there. So check it out. Once again, duckshit.net. Thanks, you guys, for watching. If you'd like to email me, DuckmanCycles@duckshit.net. And we'll see you soon. Thanks again. Well, we're coming at you today from downtown Tallahassee. That's right, the capital city of Florida. You guys can probably see me there in the mirror. Maybe you can't. I really didn't intend for that to be the idea here. But we're working a job today over here. And while I was out here, I got a little desperate. I had to make a credit card payment. And I had to stop at the local Chase Bank because we don't have one in Pensacola. Just told me to turn left where I shouldn't have turned left. That was pretty stupid on behalf of the GPS. Anyway, we don't have a Chase Bank, but I have a Chase credit card with Amazon, which, by the way, I really enjoyed that with the extra points. And no, they're not paying me to say that. I actually do like the points and the kickback they give me on the card. Because I do a lot of purchasing for work on there. What the hell is this thing making me do? GPS has me going everywhere. Well, you probably noticed that Tallahassee's a very green city. It's not built up so much as other cities are, despite this being the capital of Florida. It's a lot of people here too. It's not, you know, built up high. It's just a lot of green space. It's actually a very pretty city. Get some of this crap out of here to give you guys a better view of what's going on. I might even widen the perspective of the camera here in just a second. Oh boy, make a left. Oh yeah, sure. GPS says it'll be easy. Yeah, of course. We're just gonna Jersey style. We're in the city now. I think I gotta turn up here.
Turn left onto the ramp to Appalachia Parkway.
What the hell? There's a ramp? Oh, there is a ramp up ahead. All right. Well, we're we're doing okay. But over here at the Chase Bank, I wanted to give a shout out to the teller over there. Lexa was her name. She was very nice and helped me with everything. She's got her own YouTube channel, which she didn't give me the details to, but she does traveling, so I wanted to give her a proper shout out just because of how sweet and nice she was. Yeah, we're turning lefty onto Appalachia Parkway. Some of the roads over here are really weird. It's like a road on top of a road on top of a road, and there's all this crisscross nonsense in between them all. It's just yeah, it's a a cluster to say the least. But we're over here today to go plug a power cord into a tablet. Yeah, that's right. I'm driving 6-hour round trip to go plug a power cord into a tablet. You say, why would you do that? Well, the answer is because the client is paying me to. And I'm not trying to take advantage of them. It's just for whatever reason, the brilliant geniuses that they are that operate in this business here, they couldn't figure it out on their own. So they're gonna pay me they're gonna pay the dispatch company that I'm contracted with a really large fee to send me out to go plug a power cord in. Anyways, we're headed over that way now. We're just leaving the downtown area, but we're gonna pass back through it as we leave today, so that way you guys can get a really good look at it. In fact, the buildings are directly behind me, so as we drive back down this road, come back the other way, you'll get a really good look. It's just a very pretty city. It's quite clean, which is amazing when it comes to cities. You know, there's not all garbage all over the place. You find a lot more of that in like Pensacola. And I'm not saying, you know, speaking ill of Pensacola, it's just, well, you just go places and there's just garbage everywhere. It's just, yeah, it's just dirty, messy. It's not as well kept as this city is. The downtown area especially is really clean. A lot of people moving around over there, but it's just really clean. All right, trying to find the location where I'm supposed to be. I think it's just up ahead on the right. I'm gonna cut off the camera a little earlier than my stop, of course, because, well, for a little bit of, you know, privacy of the company for which I'm doing the work for. I mean, come on, plugging a tablet. You guys can say what you want, but hey, if they're gonna be writing me the checks, then I don't need to expose who it is that's, yeah. Anyways, check out all the bug splatter on the windshield from leaving this morning, nice and early to get out on the road. And I got, yeah, bug spattered. I mean, thousands of bugs spattered on the windshield, maybe even, you know, tens of thousands. Totally hammered this windshield. Car is just absolutely filthy. Well, what's on my mind? You might be asking. Well, we got the CIP1 sponsorship, as you remember, for Gregory the Bus. That's been going really, really well. They've been providing me with all kinds of stuff, and more stuff than you've even seen in the initial video where I first talked about them. I'm just overjoyed with them. Their customer service is excellent. Every time I send them an email, they respond to me usually within the hour on a regular business day. And if I respond on a non-business day, they respond back to me almost immediately after they open first thing the next morning. And just, yeah, things have been great. I have no argument. I have no complaint. The quality of the parts that they send me, they say it on their website. They will say that this is, you know, your average quality part. This part, however, is your perfect restoration part. You know, they will actually spell it out, because sometimes they do sell that same product in different quality levels. And that's what I've always liked about CIP1 is their website is very obvious as to what you're getting, what you're paying for, and why the prices would be different between two different parts, which are otherwise in the photographs possibly seeming identical. So yeah, they've been really, really good with that. Of course, you always get free shipping if you buy over $100. And right now, at the time of recording, they've actually got, I think it's a 30% off sale. I don't know if it's on everything, but they're running a huge sale. I forget what they call it, either fall or back to school or something like that. They're running a sale right now, so do check them out. We do not have at this point a referral code or a discount code of any sort for having watched my videos. We're working on that, however. We'll see what happens with it. It'd be really nice if they do provide something with that, but I'm not their website programmer. I don't know how their systems work. It may not be easy to do, or maybe it is easy to do, but they're currently working on that, trying to push the gears through to make some kind of referral program for you guys. And, well, it'll make me look good. I don't think I'm going to earn any money out of it, but it'll make me look good because I'm demonstrating their product, I'm talking about them, and I'm referring my eyeballs, the people that watch my videos, over to their business to purchase parts. And I do know today that more than one person has contacted me. I've become like the purchase ambassador for CIP1, asking me if CIP1 has certain parts. And I know they do, because I've purchased just about everything that CIP1 has sold. And I don't mean that quite literally. I did not actually buy one of everything that they sell, but I mean, when it comes down to it, I have just bought tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars of parts from CIP1 before. There's been a lot of projects that I've worked on in the past. Eleanor, of course, Gregory are not the first, neither is Ruby. There's been other cars that I've had all the way back to my very first Beetle, my 69 Beetle that I had back in the mid-90s. I was buying parts from CIP1 all the way back then. Well, it was exactly what I said. It was just unplugged. And it wasn't just unplugged, but the computer next to it was also unplugged, but somehow somebody figured that one out before I got there and plugged it in themselves. Now, if they could do one, they could have done both, but nope, they got just the one. So I plugged in the second one right next to it, and I got that computer turned on also. But while I was standing there, the manager told me, hey, our music system isn't working. And I said, well, I don't work on those, but you know, I'll make mention of it when I call in this service ticket to close it out. And while I'm standing there, I realize there's a whole bunch of plugs just unplugged out of the wall. Apparently somebody ran through there like a bull in a china factory and started ripping all the wires out of the wall, unplugged all kinds of things, just total disarray, total disaster. I'm thinking somebody probably ran into the wall or was moving around a broom handle or something in the area, got the wires tangled. I don't know, just everything was all pulled apart. But I started just plugging in all the plugs that were dangling in front of the outlets, and all of a sudden the music system came on, the amplifier came on, the satellite dish equipment that receives the music came on, and then the music started playing. The manager was a little pissed off because it wasn't her kind of music. It's not the last channel they tuned it to. However, it's working again, so that's not even my job, and I became a hero. There's the Capitol building. That's the tallest building in all of Tallahassee. There's actually an observation deck at the top of it. I've been up there at least one time. It was, it's a good walk, and then of course it's an elevator ride to the top. But just to find parking in the area, you got to go pretty far. So it's a good walk to get up there. But if you're ever in the Tallahassee area, I recommend it. I mean, it's free. They let you up there. So if you got a family or something, you want to blow some steam off the kids, make them walk across the city from the parking spot all the way up to the top there. The upper deck is a wide open area too. They can run around like a-holes. You can take pictures out through the windows. It's not actually an outdoor observation deck, but really cool. I might even have a video, and if I got the video, you'll be seeing it right now. But yeah, we're going to make a right turn up here if this idiot would stop sitting in my blind spot. Finally. Okay. Make a right turn over here, and you guys get to see downtown Tallahassee in all of its glory. There it is. Very green, as I said before. Lots of trees. Very pretty. They're always building something here, too. It seems like this place never stops building. Nothing's going any higher, but they just keep building. Weird being over here and still seeing the same area code for Pensacola. That shows just how low populated the area is, you know, considering this is a capital city. It's not like Tampa, which pretty much has its own area code for Tampa and the surrounding metro area, which used to be the area code to Fort Myers. When I lived down there, we had the same area code, but they changed that a couple times too. The growth was just that fast. Now we're not behind the van. You guys can get a better look. These traffic lights have a tendency to get you caught at every single one of them. If people just don't keep moving, you'll just stop at every single red light. You know, today we got one green at least. Got some Spanish hanging moss up there on the tree. Not something we see a whole lot of in Pensacola. I was told it all disappeared during Hurricane Ivan back in 2004. The same storm that took Eleanor and put her under 6 feet of seawater. And it blew away all the Spanish moss, that there wasn't any more after that. I found that kind of fascinating that it caused a mass extinction event in Pensacola due to the hurricane. Anyway, yeah. There's still some in the surrounding areas. If you go into Navarre or something, there's still some over there. Navarre didn't get quite as badly hit. I think I need to make a left over here. Yeah, See, that's Highway 90, and Highway 90 actually goes into all the way to Pensacola. That's where our local Harbor Freight is. We'll make a left-hand turn and try to get out of here. There's a couple of nice burger joints over here. They have a lot of, well, I hate to turn it into politics, but they're very liberal hipster kind of joints, and they have all kinds of weird shit on the menu, but they're very nicely decorated. Place is kept very clean, and the food is nothing but delightful. But of course, in most of those places, you'll pay for it, but when you live in the capital city, everything's a little more expensive anyway. So we're probably gonna go pick up a burger before we leave here. I mean, it's already 3 o'clock local time. I've been driving since 8 o'clock my time. Yes, Pensacola's in a different time zone than over here. It just took forever to get over here. It was nothing but slowdowns on the interstate and cops everywhere when I got off the interstate. Traffic was backed up. Of course, I had to stop at the bank too, which was a little bit of a walk. Knocked me out of the way for about, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes. It wasn't too bad. It was just hard to find a proper parking spot. I ended up parking behind a local grocery store and then walked over to the bank, which was kind of nice to know that it's there. That way you've got that, you know, in the event I ever had to go back to Chase again and make another payment on a card. Yes. Good times. Noisy Dodge. Come on, traffic light, what the hell? I feel like I've been waiting at this one for the last 10 minutes here. I should be changing any second. Or so we hope. Come on, I'm tired. I want to go home. Yeah, imagine that. You leave first thing in the morning, you go plug in a wire, and then you gotta drive all the way back home. You just blew your whole day. That's the only thing that really pisses me off about doing this kind of work for these kinds of jobs. It's, okay, you get paid, but your whole damn day is shot. For me to try to get anything done, like working on the bus or something, there's no time. By the time I get home at 6 o'clock, it starts getting dark a little after 7. The day is just, it's finished. Absolutely finished. And then usually what happens is they wind up giving me another service ticket. And after I've worked this many hours, I don't want another service ticket. I've already been working 10 hours. I'm done. You get one and done. That's it. Sometimes, and this has happened a couple of times, they wanted to send me out to Tallahassee 3 times in one day. I made the trip twice. On the 3rd time, it was an emergency service ticket, and I said, no, absolutely not. I am not driving all the way out to Tallahassee. Woohoo! Oh my God! Whoa! We almost had a rear ender on the left side of me there, and they almost came into me, and there was nowhere for me to go. Wow. Okay. Some people don't know how to city drive. Fucking tourists. Yeah, I should speak. I don't live here either, but this lot over here, Furrin Auto or something, there's always a whole bunch of Volkswagens in the parking lot. And right now, I can see one. And I know the camera wouldn't see it from this distance, but I could just see the bubble roof over one of the other cars. Turn it over that way. Well, even the mirror's in the way. Everything's in the damn way. There's a Beetle right over there. But there's always a bunch of Volkswagens in that lot. I don't know who owns it. I don't know what's going on. They always rotate out. So I have no idea what goes on over there. But maybe it's just somebody that's been working on Volkswagen since forever. He's still a mechanic there. And, well, I still take him in once in a while. But I've seen as many as 6 Beetles on that lot at once. It's always interesting to see that. It reminds me of Dexter's shop up in Marysville, Tennessee. It's right off the tail of the Dragon, a little off to there. One of the state roads that runs alongside of it. I drove through there once, and there's like 30 air-cooled Volkswagens all in a row right at the front. And he was telling me that people will come in there and they say, why do you have all those pieces of junk on the road? You could put all these nicer other cars out there. And he looked at him and he said, "Oh, because Volkswagens make money. They're in demand, people want them, and they're going to pay for them." He says there's been so many times that things are just really slow, but on his used car lot, the Volkswagens just keep selling. I thought that was rather fascinating. He's always rotating stuff out too. And in fact, that's where one of my cars came from. The yellow Carmen Ghia came off of his lot. I had seen an ad on the Samba for it and kind of blew it off. But one day I stopped for the first time and looked around his lot, and there was the vehicle I remember seeing on the Samba. And so I asked him about it, and the two of us worked out a good deal. It had been sitting for a while. I had a hell of a backstory. And made a bid. Two of us agreed on the price, and I went back a week later to go pick it up. And that was another story in itself. Oh my God. First thing that happened was the 350Z blew out a tire on the rear right. And I went to put the spare tire on, and the spare tire had air in it. It was okay, but the car just didn't feel safe. It was amazing how squirrely it felt with that donut on the back. So I'm looking around for an open tire shop, and that's my mistake. It's a holiday weekend. It's a 3-day weekend. I think it was President's Day or something like that. It was just one of those days where nothing is open on a Saturday. So I had a tow dolly that was behind me because I planned to put the two wheels up on there and pull it back. And when I changed out the spare tire, I noticed that the tow package on the back of the 350Z was loose. I mean, I could actually shake it up and down. I mean, it was like really loose. So I was concerned. I said, we're this far north. I mean, we're like an hour and a half away from Chattanooga, which is just outside of Maryville. I don't think we could pull that car back with this thing. In fact, I don't think I should bring the tow dolly back any further than we've already gone. I just got a feeling it's going to do more damage to the car, or it's going to break off on the interstate. And I have been hearing sounds of metal flexing. You know, that's a very scary sound when your car starts making those types of sounds, and they're getting louder and they're getting louder and they're becoming more and more obvious. Anyways, that's exactly what happened. The tow package ended up flexing itself off the frame of the 350Z, which is just sheet metal, and it just bent itself loose. But anyway, I had to leave the tow dolly behind. And that's not that big of a deal because it was a tire shop that I had been at years before. And I had a situation where I spun out on the interstate because somebody cut me off the last damn second. The burger joint I want to go to, I think, is right here. Cut me off at the last damn second. And it was pouring rain. I could barely see where I'm going. And I spun around on the interstate at about 30 miles an hour because that's as fast as you could go with how hard it was raining. Nothing really happened. The car just ended up stuck in the median. I couldn't get it out. So I called, well, a cop that just appeared seconds after it happened, just happened to appear, called for a tow truck driver. Tow truck driver came out and hooked up to my, what the hell are they, tie rods. And all of a sudden the front wheels on the car went like that. So obviously I'm not driving it home anymore. We're just gonna park right in here. So hold that thought. I'm gonna go get something to eat. We'll be back in a little bit. But anyway, that burger was just fantastic. That was Burger I Am, like instant message, which probably is what they're tipping their hat to. Right here in Tallahassee. Brand new place. They have them around the country, but that's the new one here. So as I was saying, the tow truck driver pulled my tie rods. The wheels bent outwards. And well, I was fucked. And the cop was still there and present because he had his lights and stuff on when everything was taking place to make sure that we didn't get hit or rear-ended or, you know, everything on the interstate. And cop said to me, he says, "I'm not going to let you get screwed in my city." He said, "Your car's wheels were attached normally and it looked fine before the tow truck driver showed up. Obviously something is wrong." The tow truck driver took me to a local tire shop where they put it up on the lift because he knew the shop owner, and of course everything was closed because that was also a holiday weekend. And it was determined my tie rods were all mangled, but there was no other damage other than the underside of the car being covered with grass and mud from having slid off the interstate. So anyway, he put me up in a hotel room. he drove to Chattanooga to the Infinity dealership where he got a G35 tie rod to replace the one that he damaged. Apparently he didn't damage them both, he just hooked the one on the one side. And they showed me the work when it was up on the lift, showed me where the damage was done. The guy that owned the shop was really nice. He actually had me hang out with his daughter for the day, and we had lunch together and stuff. And she was my age, just real pretty girl, really, really nice person. So everything just worked out. I was a day late getting home, but the car was fixed, and while they had it on the lift, they discovered the cords were showing on the rear tire on the right-hand side. Because of the extreme camber that the 350Z has, they tend to wear on the inside. That's just what they do. So while they had it up there, they noticed it was severe cords were showing. They said, what would you like to do? And I asked foolishly, could you drive home on that? What do you think? And they rolled their eyes. I said, all right, just put new tires on it. So they gave me a discount on tires, and I mean, those were cheap. Due to the emergency situation, they got me new tires and they put it on there, and they didn't hardly charge me that much for it. So anyway, when I was I headed on my way home, and life goes on. Almost 10 years had passed, and passing back through that way, I had to leave the tow dolly there because the car was broken. And I limped the 350Z home on a donut. I forget how many miles away I was from home. We're talking like 750 miles. It was quite a long drive to get back home from where I was. Got the car home, parked it, and then went back with Rudy. Rudy is one of my local Volkswagen friends here in town, although I think he might have given up on that stuff recently. He's more into the triathlon running health kick stuff than Volkswagens anymore. Which, I don't know what kind of fun there is in running, swimming, bicycling. That's something you do at a utility or for exercise, but he made it a hobby. I don't know, I don't get it. I can't wrap my head around it. But more power to him, he enjoys it. He let me borrow his truck and his trailer. And I went back up, not certain how I was going to be able to get the dolly from that local shop. Then I had a quick idea that hit my mind. On the back of the trailer, there was a hole. So I stopped at home, and I pulled the ball off of the 350Z, right off the receiver on the back, and screwed it down through the hole on the reinforced back of the trailer. And then when I got to where the dolly was, I hitched it right on the back of the trailer, so I was pulling the two trailers in tandem. The second trailer had no working lights on it at that point, but it did have a plate on it. So I got the Carmen Ghia loaded up on a trailer, and then I put the dolly back onto the back of it and pulled the whole thing home. And my length from the front bumper of the pickup truck, I forget what it was, some type of Dodge truck, all the way to the ramps that were hanging down on the tow dolly in the back. Oop, I gotta get right over here before I forget. Sneak right in there. Snooze you lose. We were the length of a semi, an 18-wheeler. I mean, yeah, that was really long. And when I got home, I couldn't park it in front of my house because it was longer than my piece of property was. It was going to overlap with either the driveway of my neighbors or the driveway at my house. So I parked it diagonally across my front yard. You know, necessity is the mother of invention, and that's the reason why I did what I did. And it looked really stupid, but it didn't matter. That's how I left it. I got home at like 2 in the morning. I didn't feel like dealing with it, unhitching it, and moving things around. It was just, yeah, that wasn't how the cards were lining up that night, so I said no. Went to bed. The next morning I got everything unloaded with absolutely no help from my ex-girlfriend, who I was buying the car for. She was completely worthless through the whole thing. I pushed the car up into the yard. I was going to push it in the garage, but did not. Ended up in the backyard with all the rest of the Volkswagens that I had at the time, because she kept making me buy her cars. After we split up and she married some new guy, who she cheated on me with, by the way, but that's another story. She posted on her Facebook that she didn't want all those cars. Never wanted any of that. What? The only reason I did it was because she wanted it. And the only reason why I got the white Beetle, which Gabriel has today, is because when she got a Volkswagen, I wanted a Volkswagen. I hadn't had one in about 5 years, so I figured I was way overdue. Let me get another Volkswagen again. I still have a ton of parts remaining. Every time I move around the country, I've been moving boxes and boxes of Volkswagen parts with me. And smartly so, because the prices on so much of that stuff has gone up so much over the last 20 years since I started buying that stuff. I mean, just so much. And I'm really glad that I had that much of it remaining. And I still have a ton of that stuff left. I still haven't used all of it. So the White Beetle became my car. And after I finally dumped her and got her the hell out of my life, and I'm sure she has her own story that she left or some shit, I don't know. And maybe she did, because after all, she made up her mind when she was cheating on me with the other guy, so obviously she wasn't with me anyway. She also posted on her Facebook that she was engaged to this guy, showing an engagement date that was way prior to our final breakup date, which is just freaking lovely. Does nothing but confirm that she's a friggin' hoe. Yeah, you're a hoe. If you're watching this, or any of your friends are, yep, I'm calling you a slut. Because that's what you are. I mean, after all, that's the reason why we met anyway. Because what do adults like to do? And we like to... So I guess I'm no better than you are, but at least I wasn't in a relationship cheating on you. She accused me of it many, many times. And it turned out, in the end, guess who was doing it? Yeah, that's the way it usually goes, right? So the White Beetle has moved on. It reminded me a lot of the X. The car was for me, but because of the whole experience of getting it, and the videos are over on, well, they might be on this channel. I don't know. They may be over on DuckmanCycles, where I picked the Beetle up and I brought it home. And boy, was he dirty. He was white then, but he was just really, really dirty. So I cleaned him up, patched him up. There wasn't too much rust on it. There was a little rust at the bottom of one of the A-pillars. I don't remember if it was driver's side or passenger side. I patched that up, fixed some holes in the floor, switched out some parts on things, and I'm going to say upgraded it to 5 lugs, even though technically I was going backwards to do that. I upgraded it because I thought the 5 lugs are much prettier, and I wanted a car that looked older than its years. So 5 lugs it was. Patched up the dashboard, got rid of the crash pad that was on it, gave it a more vintage looking dashboard. Lowered it a bit, put some narrowed wheels on the front, so that way they can steer without having to narrow the beam. I've never been a fan of narrowed beams. If you're going to narrow the beam, I think you have to widen the wheels to fill up that gap. But not everybody does that. They usually narrow the beam and then they lower it to the point that it looks silly. The wheels look way too tucked. And I've never been a fan of wheels that are tucked too far into the car. It just makes the car look unstable. And then, for that matter, no matter how much... the more you narrow the vehicle, the more unstable it actually becomes. So, something like Gregory, yeah, I'm going to have to narrow the beam some to make him fit the way I want to, but I'm going to make up for it by widening the wheels. So he'll have a... same as the stock track width, with a little more meat on the road, give him a little better grip. But that's the story behind the White Beetle, behind the yellow Carmen Ghia, and a little bit of the story of what happened to the 350Z when I was up there and I got spun around on the interstate. And that was the only time anything like that has ever happened to me in my life. Now, I've always been very, very firmly planted on the road. I don't lose control. I actually know how to drive. And when it comes down to it, I even test the road environment. If I'm driving the Z, I'll turn off the traction control. Why do you need it on? If you know how to drive, you don't need traction control. And I will deliberately slide the vehicle just a little bit to see what happens. You know, you gotta experiment. Once you get that feel, you know exactly how hard the car can be pushed before you're going to have a problem. So you don't have that, let's test it when we've already got an emergency. I gotta get gas. I'm gonna do it right here. Squeezing in. Oh, the guy behind me didn't like that. Too bad. We're about 200 miles from home. Oh joy, oh joy. I think that's enough for today in this video, so please likey, comment, subscribe, plug the dingle belly, that way you get updates every time I upload a video. Check out duckshit.net, which is my website for all of my different social media links. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, what is it? You twit face. You can find me on all of them. Thanks for watching, you guys. Really appreciate it. We'll see you next time.